Back in episode 2 of Real Screaming Kayaks, we visited Coromandel. And as with many locations in New Zealand, there's always unfinished business, especially when there's so much country on offer. A spare-of-the-moment opportunity gave us 3 days of good weather, so this time we would explore 2 more locations. This trip I'd be joined by Damien Trounsden, who's a Coromandel local and a keen kayak angler, as well as Jeff Force from the other side of the Firth of Thames. Our first day would be focusing on the Firth of Thames, and it started early morning with a launch at the Kirita boat ramp. Damien and I headed up the coast, fishing the shallows in close before spotting a whole bunch of birds working out by the middle next to the mussel farms. Alright, it's good to see these guys making a bit of a comeback. This is on a little micro jig, a Zest sling jig. But yeah, not big enough to keep obviously, but the colours on this fish, I love these gurnard, you can see that, beautiful looking. And they've, we'll see if we can grab hold of them. You've got to watch the heads on these guys, they've got some really nasty spikes. But there you go, have a look at those fins. Beautiful fish. Love the colours on these guys. We'll let them go, it's a little bit small, but it's great to see them making a bit of a comeback in this part of New Zealand. Good start out at the mussel farms in the middle of the Firth of Thames. Saw some birds working, so we thought we'd come out here, and Damien's into a nice one straight away, dropping the jig down. Bit of excitement. We saw a couple of kingies, but I didn't manage to hook a kingie, but I got a follow and a hit from what is a really nice kahawai actually. She's really quite a good one. Good fun on the stick baits. One thing that a lot of people don't sort of utilise a lot in kayaks is stick baits, so you've got to be bloody careful with fish on stick baits. There's your kahawai, and we'll let him go. Off he goes. We've got a bit of splashing happening around us, and Damien decides to stand up on his PDL, and this is the beauty of these kayaks. And he got straight into what was definitely a solid fish, most likely we reckon a kingie, but this time he's just got himself a kahawai afterwards, so the kingie got unhooked. Cool little spot right out in the middle of the Firth of Thames here, and we're in between the mussel farms, so we're playing a bit of Russian roulette with these fish. We're sitting in amongst a whole lot of birds that have been working here in the farm. Pretty exciting stuff. There's a lot of gannets, there's terns, there's shearwater, there's shags. It's just full on, you know, right in the middle of the Firth of Thames, and the mussel farms in between them. A lot of people fish in the farms, but I like to fish in the sort of out in the middle of them where there's no buoys, you know, because there's that time, I mean, where you can get sort of taken to the cleaners, which has happened to Damien this morning, stick baiting for kingfish. We got a bit pumped up. So yeah, good fun in this area. Lots and lots of bird activity. So it's pretty awesome. They're all looking for something, waiting, just like us. Looking and waiting for something to happen. These guys are little shearwaters, and they're looking down in the water, checking out what's below them, and then they dive down. Diving down obviously to get some sort of bait fish that are below them. So it's a good place to look down for something underneath these guys, because they're obviously here for a reason. And if you have a look at the sounder, you'll see what I mean. There is truckloads of fish on there. So, well worth the effort. With the fishing going quiet, we headed back and decided to spend the rest of the afternoon getting ready for our next day. Well, here we are, day 2, and we're up at Port Jackson. Beautiful spot up here, and we've got a really good weather forecast. Hoping for some good things, so let's see what happens. I'm with Damien, who's also using a Old Town Predator PDL, and we're going to be joined this evening by Jeff Force. We're camping out at Port Jackson Dock Campground for the night. Great spot this for kayakers, right on the beach, launch where you're camping, and the fishing potential out here is just endless. There is so much coastline. We're out here looking for hopefully yellowtail kingfish. I don't really want to jinx this, but yeah, so let's go out there. This is the afternoon. We're hoping for good things. We're going to fish till the evening and then come in, so let's see what happens. All right, into one. Got the micro jig down, and we've sort of come around the coast a little bit to a nice little spot where there's a bit of mark, bit of wind happening at the moment. It's supposed to drop off. However, this feels like a pretty reasonable snap. Feels like a snapper, and yeah, first fish of the day for me, and it feels great. Peeling a little bit of line. Of course, I haven't got my drag done up hard, but you know, the idea with the micro jigs is not to have too much drag on them, because what happens is you pull the hooks, especially if they're hooked in the corner of the mouth. Nice to feel something decent anyway. Our first day was a little bit tough, and we're sort of anticipating some good fishing today, so hopefully this afternoon brings some good things till the evening. It's a bit of a slow bite yesterday morning, but today's looking pretty good. Nice. Happy about this for my first fish of the day. Good eating size snapper. So yeah, here it comes. Great fish. Now I'm fishing the Zest Slow J, of course, as usual, but got a bit of a different colour on today. I thought I'd try something different. I know the green works really well, but also so does the pink mac. There we go, look at that. Nice 40 centimetre plus fish, and his lucky day. And we're going to let him go. See you later, buddy, and back she goes, sweet as. So we're just doing a nice big drift out into the deeper water and getting a few hits on the bottom. Hasn't fired up yet, but you know, signs are encouraging. But yeah, little blue cod. Into one. I've switched sets. I've got this new Jigs slow jerk rod. It's a spiral wrap, acid wrap, blank, and yeah, I've got 100 gram Zest Slow J on now, because we're out in the deeper water, and I've been seeing some serious marks. Now this ain't a huge fish, but by crikey, it whacked this Slow J really hard out, and yeah, feels like a decent fish. I had a bit of drag on it. It's another nice pan-sized fish, but it just shows you how much his snapper can, you know, we're on heavier gear now, so I can afford to lift this guy up, but you can see, I mean, even, oh, he's feisty. He's come up real feisty. You can see that. Look at the size of that Slow J. And you know, this snapper here, he's not a big fish, you know, 40 centimetre snapper, but when, you know, these guys will eat everything they can. Well, hooked up on something really nice this time. It took off, did a run, and I'm basically chasing it down now. Out in quite deep water, 39 metres. Yeah, it feels like a good fish. Bit of a juggling act. You've got to keep everything sort of steering and winding up on line and everything, but this fish took off. It was great. I've swapped back to a little 60 gram slow J, and coming up slowly, definitely. Whoop, and off it goes again. Didn't like that. Whew. I've got over the top of it a bit more now, so yeah, great fish. It's definitely a kingfish. Woo! Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a kingy. Ha 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 ha! You beauty! Oh, good kingy too. Not a bad one on the light tackle. You know, we're only on 20-pound line here. Ha ha ha! Sweet! This is what Damien and I come out here to catch. There he goes. This is always the most difficult part, is getting these fish. I don't want to put the gaff in him. He's not big enough for that. I want to let him go. Oh, man, he's not happy. And you'd expect him not to be too, but yeah, great fish. Here we go. Woo! He's going to thrash around when I get him on board, so always that drag off. And there we go. You know, it's a legal kingy. It's not a huge kingfish by any standards, but still, what a great fight on the light tackle. There we go. Look at that. There's that Zest Slow J. And check that guy out. Definitely a legal kingfish, but you know, we want bigger than that. But on that little light tackle, fun. Absolute manic. Awesome. There we go. Beautiful fish. And we're going to let him go now. Stunning. Off you go, buddy. Woo! What a buzz. There we go. Beautiful fish. Great eating size. If you were going to take a feed home, we're catching and releasing today. But check that out. Awesome. And there's that pink mac again. It's really working for me well today. And you can see that lovely colours on that fish. And in great condition. And it's going to go back sweet as. So I'm going to pull the lip grippers out now. And we're just going to drop him back in the water. And he's going to swim off. Off you go, mate. Woo! Straight down. And Damien and I have been pulling up quite a few fish, but now finally it's Damien's turn to get something better. Well, hey, feeling good, eh, bro?
Yeah, just gotta.
Definitely got the telltale sign of a snapper with the nods coming off the end of his rod. And interestingly, Damien switched to a slow J just before, and he's got the green one on. I'm resisting the green this time, but yeah, looks like a pretty good fish, mate. Oh yeah, I can see a bit of colour there. Oh, nice fish, bro. Awesome. About time we saw something a bit better. Great fish, mate. That's a sweet snapper, eh? Awesome, mate. That's a beauty, eh? Well done.
Awesome.
Nice fish for Damo. He's earned that one today. And now she's going to go back. Look at that. And it soaked him on the way out. Oh, here we go. Into another one. We're just doing a nice long drift down the coast. And we just had Damien's beautiful fish on. That was great. You know, great snapper he caught there. And now it's my turn. Mind you, while I'm hooked up, so is he again. So, you know, great area, great time of the night. It's about sort of, what's the time? It's about getting close to 7 o'clock now in the evening. And, you know, this fishing is just coming on. We kind of thought that we might be out and get to enjoy this evening bite. And so we are. Here we go. Look at that. That's a beautiful fish. I'm really happy with that. Look at that. Awesome. Great size, in fine condition, and we're gonna let this guy go. So you can see that slow J in the mouth again. Once again, I mean, these Zest jigs, I've got to give it to them, you know. Consistent, and they catch fish, and that's the most important thing. So there you go. There's that fish. Beautiful. We're going to let it go. Come on, buddy. Off you go. Another great fish. We're getting right towards the end of our day. And it was quite funny. My phone just went and I had my jig sitting in the holder and I just watched this fish. Must have just took it and sat on it. And I picked up my rod and she's fish on. Such is the effectiveness of these jigs that we're using. Even when they're sitting still, when we've got a bit of chop, you know, it's not rough. And this ain't a big fish, but you know, the action that's happening just from the kayak sitting on the water is enough to get the jig moving a bit up and down, and it's a fish. It equated to a fish. And there we go. And not a bad fish either, I've got to say. Look at that. Beautiful eater. Still catching even though the sun is going down now. The great thing about these jigs that we're using is they have got a lumo stripe on them. And that lumo stripe is enough to keep them lit up a bit. Well, that's us. Wicked day. And look at that sky behind us. We're heading back now. She's been a ripper of an afternoon and we're super excited about tomorrow. First thing in the morning, day 3. Wow, what a day. She's stunning out here. We've got a really awesome forecast today of variable 5 knots in the morning and going northeast 10 knots this arvo. So perfect conditions to head out wide to our destination, which is Channel Island. Hopefully we get there, although there's so much water in between, who knows, we'll be fishing that. There's plenty of places to fish on the way through. But one thing you should always do before you get out there and the sun comes up is apply some sunblock. Make sure you give yourself a good coating. With the UV and the strength of our sun in New Zealand, you've got to put some on all over your face. Every bit of your body that's not covered by, like I've got this shark skin SPF 50 top, and it's great for keeping the sun off me, and especially for summer. But I've got exposed legs and face, and so I recommend you put sunblock on and cover up. So yeah, gannet's working out in front of us. We've just left the bay where we're staying, and there was a lot of bait fishing here last night when we came through, and clearly they're working those bait fish schools. So we're going to have a shot right here. It'd be crazy not to when you look at what's there. Birds working, there's bound to be some big moocher snapper sitting underneath some of these workups hopefully. So we'll see what happens, but it's always pretty spectacular when you see birds working like this, especially gannets. They're really going for it.
Despite all the activity and a sounder full of bait fish, it seemed there was nothing better around. The next reef system proved to have very little on it also, so
it was off to Channel Island.
Out at Channel Island, and Damien got here a little bit before me, and he's hooked up into what looks like a pretty good kingy actually. Giving him a bit of a sleigh ride. He's being towed. Keep getting a wind on it, bro. Don't give it nothing. Point the rod forward, bro, and use the kayak to lift yourself, bro. Give it heaps, man. They'll take you in the rocks. He's heading that way.
He's not going to get there.
That's the way. Nice. Got off?
Yeah.
So we're out at Channel Island. What a place. Damien's just lost a really good fish, and I'm about to get into it. Right, so here we are. Time for a bit of jigging. Damien's into a goodie. He's been working hard, this boy. It's good to see. I'm giving him heaps, telling him to get a wind on it every minute. As soon as it runs, he's always going to try and get you into the reef. So the best thing you can do is just keep pumping it up. And he's certainly doing that. Go, bro. Get another wind on it. That's the way, bro.
Like the sound effects?
Love it. Awesome. Damien's he's really putting some pressure on this fish. But, you know, that's the great thing about these PDLs. You can certainly put some hurt on them. Go Coromandel Kingfish at Channel Island. Woo!
There he is.
Awesome. Well done, mate. They don't take no prisoners, these fish, eh? You gotta take everything. Nice one. Woo! Well done, cuz. That's awesome. That's a good fish, mate. Good 10 kilos plus. How did that feel, mate? Good fight?
Bloody hard out.
Pretty full on here,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yep.
We're definitely here at the right time. We've got slack water coming. Kingfish tend to feed on the slack tide.
I'm happy.
I'm shaking just at the happiness of, you know, he lost one just before it rubbed him in the reef, so he learnt the hard way. These guys take no prisoners, so you've got to give it heaps. Sitting right amongst these schools of kahawai, and there's definitely kingfish down there as well. Getting a few whacks, sometimes they're kahawai, but yeah, look, you know, the fish are so thick here. It's awesome to see. Oh, getting some good hits. They're definitely, there we go. Oh, might be a kahawai, eh? Good fun though. Definitely, you know, full on. Full on so far. We're so privileged to be out here at Channel Island. You know, we've got the day for it, and hopefully we can get some kingies for you. This kahawai's, you know, these guys are pretty decent kahawai here, and they're going full on. Probably get everything splashed now. But yeah, they go nuts, these kahawai. So best thing you can do is just deal to them quick as and get them back. You know, they'll fight and carry on so hard. I'll show you that, because there he is. Big kahawai. Right. And again, you know, you can see the kingfish down there with them. So awesome. Awesome fun. Is it? Okay, sounds like Damien's hooked up. Damien's having another tussle with yet another kingfish. He's on fire today, this boy. He's pretty new to jigging, is Damien, and this is great to see him hooking into a few kingies today. Awesome. Here we go, we got colour. It's gone under the boat now. Full of beans, this one.
Nice fish.
It is. Looks nice too, bro. Channel Island, here we are. Haven't seen too many kayakers come out here. You have to pick the really right day. We've got small tides today, Only 2.3 metres, and it's a moderate tidal flow. You know, this place is very notorious. It's not a place to be taken lightly. And I suggest if you're watching this and you're thinking, wow, I'd love to go out to a place like this, that you don't go by yourself, and you certainly have got some experience and you get the conditions right. Oh, nice fish, mate.
Not quite. I've got him now anyway.
Beautiful. Great fish, mate. Look at that. Awesome kingfish. Awesome, mate. And what sort of jig did you catch that on, Damien?
The Zest Curvaceous
Silver?
Silver, yeah. Silver Lumo.
200 gram, eh?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, awesome jig that. Very cool, mate. You've got to be
fish.
stoked with that, eh?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Another nice one for you.
Yep.
Well deserved, bro.
Beauty.
Fantastic.
Very happy, and
Just
I'll
what we
let this one
came
go
for.
as well.
This place is exciting, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're here at the right time too, just at the top of the tide, slack water, the fish are on the chew. Couldn't ask for better. Awesome. She's all gone. She's gone down into the deep again. Oh, there they are there, look. All right, into a kingy. Finally. Oh, good fish. Thumb in the spool trying to stop this fish. Yeah, nice. Oh, yeah, I've missed having these guys on this. This is my first real good kingy for the summer. It's been a long time coming. Woo! Stoked to be hooked up. Oh! Oh! Oh, you just can't help but giggle like a little girl. Oh, this is a good one. Oh. You can't give them nothing. You just got to take every bit of punishment you can. You've got to give it back. They'll run. You just got to keep getting lifts on them, get them away from the bottom. They're dirty fighters, and they will try their best to take you to the cleaners. Whew. This is on the new Zest jig. Depth charger, silver with a bit of red in it. Seems to work. It's the first time I've dropped this one down. No wonder Damien was grunting and groaning. These guys are full on. Plenty of power. Woo! Oh! Oh, you just can't help but get exhilarated when you hook up on these guys. They just are powerhouses. Oh, here we go. He's off. Oh, I'm trying to thumb the spool to stop him. I can see all his mates below me as well, below him. He just did a nice, good 10 metre run then. You've really got to own these fish when you hook them up. He doesn't want to come up, this guy. He's trying to dive. He's trying to run away. I'm out in 32 metres, so, but yeah, thumbing the spool is what you got to do with these fish. Keep them away from the bottom. Oh! Oh, this is awesome, man. This is well worth getting a sweat up for. Here we go, we got leader. Yeah, good fish. Happy with this guy. Oh, they're always going to do that last run when they see the kayak. Woo! Ripper of a fish. Check that guy out. There we go. Great fish. Totally happy with that. Now to get it in the back. Awesome. Nice kingfish. Be a good solid 12, 14 kilos maybe. How does it feel to jig off the Predator PDL, mate?
Oh, it's just so much better. It's better on your whole body. It takes a lot less work. When you're sitting down, you're quite restricted. But here I can jig better. And I can also stand here and I can look around and I can see what's around me. which is pretty cool.
Yeah, visually it's quite good, isn't it? You know, getting
Yeah.
that higher perspective, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
As stable as.
Although, you know, the jigging's still not too bad on these boats, even sitting down. Like, compared to a normal kayak where you're sitting on the deck really low, these, you can definitely get a lot better lifts on it, eh? I've noticed.
Yep. Yep, definitely. And hooking up, standing up's not a problem.
Yeah, how do you deal with that, mate?
Just sit down when I hook up.
Awesome.
Yeah, no worries. I haven't had an issue yet.
No, well, you certainly, the results have been definitely in your favour today. And here we have Jeff hooked up. It's been a long time coming for Jeff, but he's finally managed to hook himself what looks like a kingfish. Good to see you hooked up. How's it feeling, mate?
About time. The one's actually stayed on.
Awesome. Sink that gaff into him, mate.
Eh?
Sink that gaff into him. Nice. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Awesome, eh?
Woo! Ah, yeah, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
Awesome. Great fish. Great fighting fish, aren't they, mate?
Oh, shit, yeah, man. That's
It was great to see Jeff finally get himself a kingfish after trying hard all morning while watching Damien and I catch fish. Then the fish went off the bite and something else happened.
You know, we're out here and having a blast with the fish, and what do you know? Dolphins. It doesn't get much better than this. We are having the most amazing day in Coromandel today, day 3, and we've now got dolphins coming through. Check it out. They'll come and see us. They love riding with the PDLs, so they'll come over. Here they come. And what a buzz to have dolphins as well turn up while we're here. Choice. And these guys have obviously turned up here because there is a lot of kawai and fish for them to feed on out here.
The dolphins were certainly cool to see, and with the tide now turning, the fish had started to disperse and were moving to different parts of Channel Island, so we headed around to the other side in search of more fish.
Look at that, golden snapper. You got to watch these guys. They've got razor sharp gill rakes on them. That's this part here. Now this guy's a little bit small to keep, so we're going to grab him by the bottom jaw. So there you go. Look, tiny little golden snapper. Bloody slow jays, eh? This is a great fish. I've hooked up again. We're out off channel and this has got some serious weight to it. I don't know what it is. Could be a big snapper. Yeah, it's a good fish. Can't believe it. Can't believe I've hooked another nice fish out here. This is on the Slow J 60 gram and 66 meters. It's definitely got a bit of weight to it, that's for sure. Peeled a bit of line initially and hit the, it's heavy. See, oh, bugger! I just lost a awesome fish. I don't know what it was. Could have been a big snapper, but oh man, bugger. That's fishing.
With things going quiet at Channel, we headed off back towards the mainland, but soon found a shallow reef to fish on.
Sweet. Just saw a bit of sign coming across on the sounder and getting a few hits, all of us. Dropped down and what do you know? Blue cod. And that is a keeper. Look at that. Great looking fish. Nice size. That's going to get cooked at home. I love my blue cod. That's a legal blue cod. Nice fat one. Definitely coming home with me. And then he went nuts. Oh, he was a bit calm on it there for a minute. Now he's sort of woken up. So you can see that. good sized blue cod. Definitely worth putting in the back and taking home for dinner. Look at this day. Still beautiful. We're cruising into the coast again now to check out a couple of pins in by Fletcher's Bay. We've done a few Ks already today, about 6 out to Channel Island, pedalled around everywhere. Man, have we had some fun today so far, and it's still carrying on. We're probably about 3 kilometres away from the coast and about 2 Ks from our next destination. Looking forward to seeing what happens. This is a big day and we have cracked the weather. I mean, you can see it on the camera how nice it is. It's glassy and it's now 12:30 in the day. Normally when that tide turns we see a bit of wind start to come up, but not today so far. And we could do with a little bit of a breeze just to cool down. She's stinking hot. Summer is finally here. Well, we've just got over to where we want to go and look at this, dolphins. Here they come. Yeehaw! Man, we've had some encounters with wildlife today. They're only little tiny dolphins. Awesome. How cool is that? They're motoring.
It was pretty special to see such a lot of marine life around like this, and we were feeling pretty stoked to have seen and had such good experiences during our day. The calm weather that we had been experiencing during the morning had finally finished, with a slight breeze starting from the east, which created a nice ripple on the surface of the water, and we were hopeful that this would improve the fishing, which had continued to be slow. Yet all we managed was some small snapper on the deep reefs we were fishing off the coast. With things continuing to be slow, we decided it was time to head back.
So there you go, Coromandel. There's just so many little pockets of paradise in this place. It's a mecca for kayak anglers, and we just spent the last 3 days discovering a few other areas that we haven't featured on the show. There's so much more to show you, and over the course of Real Screaming Kayaks we'll bring some of those other areas to you. We had an epic day today, the last day of our 3 days, and it was just an amazing day out on the water with beautiful conditions and some awesome fishing out at Channel Island. So yeah, thanks to Damien and Jeff. It was great to catch up with them, do a bit of camping, and I'm sure we'll be back for another episode of Real Screaming Kayaks.